result or performance?
For me, it's not so much about either of them. It be what he wants to do, test those against Brazil, and see the outcome. We go to lose 3-0. All of those goals go to come like 89th, 90th, additional time. But what you they do in the minutes leading up to that, how your team they play, right? And I'm sure at this point, Otto Addo has to be clear in his mind what he wants to do at the World Cup. So you put those ideas to test. And also even think about the worst case scenario. For example, I've been thinking about this nightmare situation where Partey doesn't make the World Cup. Okay? What do you do in your midfield? And given Partey's injury record of the last 2 years, it is possible that Partey will not make the World Cup. What you go do, right? And if we are not prepared for that eventuality, our World Cup ends. Okay? So it'd be important, say, you design your plans to take care of the worst possible scenarios, especially with instances where happened in the past with this particular team, right? The last time I was on this show, I was talking about how to get goals out of this team and how to set this team up to ensure that even though there is a clear lack of goals in terms of the forwards in this team, you can set up in a manner that gets the team to create chances. And that's the extent of his job. He cannot score goals for the team. His job is to let the team play in a manner that creates a lot of chances. Once they create the chances, the rest will be up to the boys to play. So at the lookout for the various combinations in midfield. And then up front. And I think against Brazil, I would like to see Partey play. I would like to see Kofi Chire, and I would like to see Kudus also start. Okay. Maybe Kudus in a more advanced position, just to see the dynamics and how this team plays. Because as far as all of us are concerned, the biggest problem in this team is goals. We don't have issues at centre-back. We don't have issues at full-back. Central midfield options look okay, but it's the combinations where the problem is as to who they play where. Unfortunately for us, some of our central midfield options are not really getting a lot of game time. So the guy at Mallorca, Baba Idrisu, hasn't played a lot of time this season. Kofi Chire spent more time on the bench than he's played, which wasn't the case last year. How do you work around those? And that's why I was a bit disappointed that we did not see someone like Majid Waris in the team, because those will give you different options. Salis is another example. He's rocking in France, right? So those be players with, and especially as beyond those three, who really be the other midfield options where we see, apart from maybe Elisha Owusu, right? So I would love to see the combinations where the team go play. I don't want him to go and experiment anything he's not going to do at the World Cup.
So this will be time for experimentation.
No. This be the things you want to go. And you see, we've said this so much that people no longer believe it. If you check the fixture schedule or the calendar from now till the World Cup starts, there is not a lot of time in between. Apart from this, there's going to be the window in November, or is it October, when you play the Switzerland match. After that, you don't have a lot of friendlies before the World Cup. So this be the only opportunity you get where you put your ideas to test. So make we see what you go do for the World Cup. Okay. Right? Yes, there is every possibility that others will be watching, but we'll also get a chance to watch our other teams as well. Right? So put your best foot forward. Put those ideas to test and prepare for the worst case scenario. I would, for example, like to see Partey off in the second half and see how the team copes. Right? Or Andre off in the second half. Or the team play without Kudus and see how the team copes and how the other players will assume responsibility. Because this team is very used to relying on Partey, Kudus, Jordan, and Andre for goals. Those are the guys who have scored the sum of our goals or the bulk of our goals over time. Never mind that Jordan, I think, had not scored in a long time. But in terms of creating and making the goals, they are the guys who assume that responsibility. So put your best foot forward, test those ideas, and work around, envision the worst-case scenarios, right? And see what happens there. As for goalkeeping, our destiny is in the hands of Olele. Whoever Ego selects, they make it catch. Ego can do the job.